I'm Dr. Duncan, that's what everybody calls me at work, and I am going to talk about how much does it cost to make a cup of tea, a thermodynamic and social media study. I'd like to start with the acknowledgements, as is my habit. Does anybody in the audience know who these gentlemen are? What did you do? Yeah, yes, thank you, yes, you know who they are. Right, well I'll tell you who they are. That gentleman on the right, that's Jeff Bezos, Mr. Amazon. The one on the left, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, or Meta as they're called now. And in the middle is F.D. Edwards, the founder of Edwards, who I work for, in 1919. He was a physicist. He started importing vacuum pumps from Germany. In 1939, he was no longer able to import vacuum pumps from Germany, so he started making them. The reason I'm thanking these gentlemen will become apparent later on, but that's what I'd like to acknowledge. I also like to thank my wife, because it's her fault that I'm here. She's a cow worker. That's not her, because it would be unprofessional of me to actually take a picture of her in a cow worker uniform and put it up. That is a stock image I got from her employer's website. Conveniently, the cow worker is talking to an elderly lady over a cup of tea, and they're looking at cat pictures on their phone. And she came home from work one day and said, one of my clients said it costs 84p to make a cup of tea. I said, and I quote, that's bollocks. Right? It's not 84p. I'll work it out. So I did. You can all read. Okay? Now, let's put a litre of water like that. You know, I'm sort of an engineer, let's bundle it up, you know. We know the density of water, that's a kilogram of water. We know the heat capacity of water is 1 calorie per gram. You know, money, 1x6 joules per kilogram per Kelvin in SI unit. Let's not worry about the fact that it changes slightly with temperature. I'll acknowledge that. Right? The temperature of the water as my cold tap is 15 degrees C in October when all this started. I knew that anyway because I go cave diving and the water coming out of Rocky Hill caves is that temperature all year round. It's the average annual temperature of where I live in Somerset. Okay? And temperature, 100 degrees C, delta T, 85 Kelvin, or 2 degrees C. We can work it all out. I looked up the energy charge. Right? I brought that up to date. And the thing is, that kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. It's not power, kilowatt power, energy. Right? So I had to convert. So I Googled what the conversion factor was. And then my wife laughed at me. She said, that's how many minutes, how many seconds there are in a minute. Okay, smart ass. Right, so basically 3.3 pence. Right, remember that number. That's how much it theoretically costs in electricity today from Octopus Electricity, used to be Bowl, who supply my power. Okay, right. It's not 84p. I'm going to measure that. This is our kettle. It's a generic supermarket kettle. Right, 25 seconds, that's how much current it drew. We can convert that into power, energy, cost, just over 3.5 pence. I'm sorry for any Europeans here, I didn't do it in euros. It's 3.5 euros, or not 3 precise euros, whatever the cents in that. So basically that means that my kettle is just over 96% efficient at turning the electricity out of the plug into boiling the water, or that's an approximation, okay? I'll get better at it as I go through, but that is how much it costs to boil a litre of water. Right. Where should we go from here? Right. I I'm going to start a research project, funded in the middle by Edwards, right? My equipment will be provided by Amazon, and I will report it in the open journal of research that is Facebook. And I put this on Facebook, and it generated a load of interest. This is open, you can find me on Facebook. You don't have to be my friend. If you want to be my friend, that would be nice. You don't have to be my friend. I put this, it's a public post on Facebook. Some of it's even on the TMG Facebook group. You have to apply to join that, but you know, if I see that you've been on the meeting, by all means join, right? Okay, there's not much traffic on it, but you know, it's there because we have to reach out to everybody. So basically, that's how much it does. You can't really read it, but it doesn't matter. I've already told you that. Okay, now I got joined by a load of collaborators on this research project. People were asking me questions about all sorts of stuff, and I was trying to answer it. Somebody called me a geek. So anyway, let's look at more experiments. I didn't go buy a new kettle. It's a blowdry kettle. Where we live, it's got hard water, and the little filter thing at the spout, like got clogged up. So I tried to clean it, and I broke it, and the kettle wouldn't turn off, because the kettles turn off. They don't turn off by a thermostat in it. There's a pressure gauge in the handle, and when the water starts boiling, it trips the pressure gauge. So you've got to have some boiling water in there to make it turn. Okay? If the lid dries up in the middle of boiling the kettle, because like me, you stuck a thermocouple down in there, the kettle will keep boiling. So now I went out and I bought, on Amazon, I bought a fancy clamp meter that can send data to my mobile phone. So I can plot a graph of power consumption versus time. I put in a thin wire thermocouple in there, and I can measure the temperature. So I can work out the effective heat capacity of the system there, right? So I've measured the energy, and I've measured the temperature change, and I've got the heat capacity of the system, right? So that's how much energy it's costing to heat the kettle. Then I waited till my wife was at work, and I looked at different fill lines in the kettle. And I plotted them against mass of water or volume of water in the kettle and the amount of energy needed to raise that system by 1 Celsius. So the slope of that, well, that's pretty good for a kettle. That's close to the heat capacity of water. I'll accept that there's errors there because in actual fact, some of the water, as I told you, is turning into steam, and that's turning the kettle off. So we're losing, I put the kettle on a balance, right? But you can only, our kitchen scales turn off after a few minutes, so you can only do it with a small amount of water in the kettle, and you can see that you lose a few grams of kettle. A few is not SI unit, obviously, right? The intersect, that's the thermal mass of the kettle. That's how much heat you're wasting every time you boil a kettle. No matter how much water you've got in it, you've got to heat the kettle up. Right? So, when I'm working from home, I fill the kettle all the way up, boil the kettle, and then for the rest of the day, I drink water that I've just reheated from the kettle. Right? I could insulate the kettle. You can buy thermally insulated kettles. Right? Boris Johnson, our however many former prime ministers, said, look, no, you can save money, buy a new kettle. Well, I'm not convinced by that because the actual investment in buying a new kettle, I'm not quite sure I'll ever recount. And I'll get onto that later. Right? Or, we've got a new boiler. I could fill it up from the hot water tap. I asked the boiler man, I sent him an email to say, is it okay to drink the water from my hot tap? He didn't reply. So, like I just mentioned, I'm a combustion chemist. Let's cook on gas. There's our kettle, as is a camping kettle, right? There we are, heat it up, right? And I wrote that, right, okay, again, same calculations, the same amount of energy, but gas costs 1/3 per kilowatt hour the price of electricity. So it's a third the price. Simple. Right? I don't need to know the calorific value of natural gas. You can look it up. There's a database. It depends on where you live. Right? If you live in Stornoway, they use liquefied natural gas, and they tanker it in. The rest of the stuff we get in pipes from, well, we used to get it in Russia, from Russia. I'm not sure where we get it from now, but anyway, that's where we go. So it varies, but the energy companies charge you by the calorific content of, by the energy of gas, not by its calorific content, and pay by cubic meter or whatever. Anyway, boiling a kettle, come on. I forgot how long this takes. Anyway, I've got my smart meter now because I didn't have the facility. Well, I could have done. I could have got mass flow meter for gas and plumbed it into our cooker, but I think I'd have probably broken a number of regulations by doing so. I can do it at work. I can connect up gas at work, but I'm not allowed to do it at home. Right? Oh, look, it's turned off now. Right? Well, it hasn't even changed. There you go. So in actual fact, it's below the resolution of the measuring device. So let's call it a penny. Okay? Gas. Right, yeah, so there we go. There's my temperature time pot. You can see what's going on. I put it on, I adjust the flame, it rises up. It dips down there. That's when you start getting bubbles of forming in the kettle, so it's disturbing the flow. Yeah. So there you go. There's the calculations. That's how much it cost. It was just a bit more than theoretical. There's 94%, right? And I'm even taking into account the fact that it's an aluminium kettle. I looked at the heat capacity of aluminium. I assumed that the entire kettle was made out of aluminium. Some of it's plastic. I'm not going to cut the kettle up and work out. I just assume it's all aluminium, right? And I can work out how much it would theoretically cost, boil the water, and compare it to how much it actually costs. Right. What about other forms of heating? Let's explore the electromagnetic spectrum. Right, microwave, 2.45 gigahertz. Induction heating, between 50 and 60 kilohertz. And a radiant hob, right? On the basis that we're having a new kitchen, I justify the purchase of those two items. We already have a microwave. It's a combination microwave. God knows why we have a combination microwave. I don't know either of us have ever used the grill, right? And it's got a clock, which is on all the time. We've got a clock just above the microwave on the wall. We don't need one on the microwave to know what time it is. Okay? So I've got an induction hob, I've got a radiant hob, because we're having a new kitchen, and for a few weeks we won't be able to use the kitchen. I wanted to eat out all the time, but I thought, well, why not? We'll have a hob. Okay? So we've got these in-house. They'll be useful for something anyway. Right, microwave heating. Here we go. There's some sound on this. Right. 12 degrees. Oh, I bought a thermal imaging camera as well, sorry. Yeah, so that I can make it. Because I didn't want to drill a hole in the microwave and put leads to, even though you can put holes in microwaves, you just have to have a long choke so the microwave's don't leak out. Put it on, here we go. There we go, off it goes. Right, there I'm doing all these measurements, I'm measuring. This is on a duty cycle now. If you run them on full power, you don't know what the temperature is, so I keep having to open the door every 30 seconds and look in and measure the temperature. Okay? We're getting there. I've got previous on microwave heating, as people may know, I've done a lot of stuff on microwave heating, but this is the first time I've actually got involved in just heating water. By the way, I also don't, it's very dangerous to heat water up in the microwave. It can superheat, so there's a little bit of stone for my drive in the microwave, so that there's an indication side. Here we go. It's now visibly boiling. I'm getting 102 degrees. That's good enough for me. Well, you can't see, but it is boiling. Right, there are. Thank you, Duncan. So, in the microwave, there's a plot of the power link. So basically, it's costing me nearly 8 pence to boil a litre of water in a microwave. I might be able to get it slightly lower if I just close the door and left it on full power, because I'm obviously it's going to cool down very slightly whilst I'm doing it, but you know, what the hell, I won't know what the temperature is otherwise, and I won't know when it's boiling. The first time I did it, it took me 12 minutes before I noticed that the microwave was full of steam. And what about leaving the microwave just in standby all year? Well, that's going to use £1.70, right? And that equates to 5 minutes use a week, right, on full power of that microwave. If, like my wife likes to do, when you use the microwave, you leave the door open, that goes up. It's putting about 20 watts. And if you leave the door, if you go out and leave the door open all day, you're wasting money. It's like right on the microwave, there's no one in. There you go, I worked out how efficient it is, right? The microwave itself, on the back, it says it's putting about 1.4 kilowatts. The magnetron itself is rated at 900 watts, but in actual fact, it's not doing anything like that. It's rejecting, there's about 100 watts of reflective power in the microwave. Never run a microwave empty. Always put a load in it, put some water or something in there with as a load on it, because if you just close the microwave oven door and put the power on, all that power is going to be reflected back into the magnetron and it will wreck your microwave. There are other ways of wrecking your microwave. For example, you can take a candle and put it in the microwave, light the candle, blow it out like that, and then close the microwave door, turn the power on, and the candle will relight, because the smoke is a very good susceptor and it will absorb heat and the candle will relight. Do it in somebody else's microwave. CDs, crisp packets, they're all very good in microwaves, but don't use your own. So, it's 50% efficient. Induction heating. I had to use a stainless steel pan for this. I couldn't use our aluminium pan because it detects whether there's going to be stain. It's going to be magnetic. Here we go. Off we go. Oh, I'm using my fancy clamp meter, power meter. They're really good. Everybody should have one. So that's 1.97-ish kilowatts. I should have put some spikes in there. There we go. Alright, cool. Okay, so that's 4.7 pence. And using the fact that I had to use a big steel pan, then basically it's 82% efficient at heating the water up. Infrared heating. That's kind of weird, isn't it? You can hear my voice. Right, okay. So, what's it going to do now? We turn it on, off we go, which it will melt. Yeah, it's 1.2 kilowatts going in. And that's 5.8 pence. We have a saying about a watch kettle never boils. Well, obviously you have to just speed it up a bit. There we go. We're still going. 500 seconds it takes. Okay, cool. There we are. Can't read it, but anyway, it's 1 point. That's how much energy I do. So, infrared heating, it's a bit noisy, and that is 66% efficient. Okay? Is anybody bored yet? Okay, good. Well, I think that is still with me. There's a lot of sums here. So, in summary, if you want to save money, use a gas kettle. Right? And it's criminal. I've worked it out that gas being 1/3 of the price of electricity, it would be cheaper for me to install a combined heat and power system in my house running from natural gas, because they're about, well, the big systems are like 50% efficient. I was talking to somebody last night, you can get 80% efficiency out of a combined heat and power system for your house. Unfortunately, it costs £80,000, which is a significant fraction of the cost of my mid-terrace house. So, okay, well maybe I'm not going to do that. But it's something to think about. They should maybe charge more for gas and less for electricity. Then people would want to use electricity over gas. Depends how you generate the electricity. If you want to do it quickly or you want to do it efficiently, obviously dual effect heating from a kettle is good, and don't use a microwave. They're convenient for like ready meals, but they're not very good if you want to make a cup of tea.
If you want a little aside, when I was in a temperature control lab, the engineer that came told me the story that this is going back to 1980, they just replaced 4 gas boilers in a swimming pool with 2 heat pumps, and the heat pumps were running off of a gas fire called Cedar engine. And it was about twice the efficiency of what they had before.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when I'm forced to have an electric car, I will be fitting it to a tow bar and I will be towing a diesel generator behind me, so that I don't have to pull over the charger. Okay, so in summary, right, where are we going next? Where are we going to go next? This is the future. I did mention that our kitchen's rather tired. It's been in the house since it was built, so we're having a new kitchen. We're having instant hot water tap. Brilliant. They really are very energy efficient. The only problem is we're spending £16,000 on having a new kitchen. We're having like a quartz worktop, so that if I spill chemicals on it, it doesn't damage the worktop. The extractor fan is being replaced by a fume hood. Right? Okay? But, bear with me, the only new feature in our kitchen that isn't already in the existing kitchen, well, okay, not fume hood, but you know, close, right, is that tap. So effectively, that tap is costing me £16,000. I'm never going to recoup the money on that. Okay, I've got some props here, because I'm going to do some tests. Alright. If you mean you can go after this, you know, go and stay. Right. On my way up, I stopped at the cattle. Right. And I saw these mugs. Right? Stainless steel camping mug, titanium camping mug. £3.99, £19. Okay? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? Right. So I thought to myself, well, firstly, as many of you know, I go caving. And when we go caving, we love to have a drink. You know, make yourself a cup of tea. Hot chocolate, actually, because everybody loves hot chocolate. So take a cup, you cook on a spirit burner, and boil up some water. You know, you collect it from the drips from the roof, it's nice and clean. Boil the water, make yourself a drink. And I thought, well, do you know what? Obviously, we've got to carry around methylated spirits, and we normally just put it inside the little burner and take it with us. It's very handy, especially like me. People remember the big cave rescue in South Wales a few years ago. I mean, I was one of the 300 people on that. It went on for 3 days. Right? Okay, so you might want to have a hot drink. Now, do you know, if this, because it's lighter, right? But if this has a lower heat capacity than this, which it probably does, obviously, titanium is nice and light, I could have more cups of hot chocolate per amount less. I'd be very popular with my mates because they could all have hot chocolate as well because the fuels wouldn't run out. So, that's where I'm going with this. When I get a chance, I'm going to see if this is better than this. Obviously, this is worse for the environment, we find that titanium, but who cares? Right. So I'm going to close with an educational video of me making hot chocolate. Okay, so Duncan stove, old school. This is in Wookie Hole. And I'm showing, we've got a leader system there now, and I'm showing them how to make a drink, because many of them aren't familiar with how to light one of these spirit burns. Right. Stay going. Yeah, and it's a bit, this is a bit chunky, but it's in there. Now this, right, it controls the burn. So if you put that over like that, you can fold it back. Yeah? And then that, and when you want to put it out, you just drop it over it, and it sticks it naturally. If you seal it up, you might actually manage to retain some of the mass. There you go. Water on. Come back in and out. There we go. Thank you. Let's get my serve loaded, right? Get some water. Sometimes the lighters don't work. So we've got backup that. Now, here, we've got some. You can always get them off stock, but sometimes they're out of gas. Very bad, you know. This is why it's a big foot like this. Oh, there you go. That's definitely enough to get you so you can now get something lit. Once it's not ready, you'll generally like something. So, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been good to talk to you.